Right then guys, we are back with another video today, and the Premier League season is finally back. You guess, it's back. The first game is tonight, Friday night kick-off, 8 o'clock, and the rest start on Saturday, I think. The rest on Saturday. I'm just looking at the rest of the games now. It is that time of the season where football is back. The majority, the one first game tonight, and then there's a few tomorrow, and there's a couple on Sunday. So we've got some exciting games to get into this weekend on game week 1. Three new teams coming up, 3 new teams being welcomed back to the Premier League. So let's get straight to it, and also some new debuts playing today, playing for their clubs on their debut. Some that are out injured, but some that will be playing or on the bench and then might come on. So let's get straight to it. The first game is Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. Interesting game first. You could say it's a London derby, except one's south and one's north. North versus south. Very interesting this will be. Crystal Palace at home here. I don't think an Arsenal here. It's not going to be an easy game for Arsenal, considering how they started recent seasons in the first game, like last season away at Brentford where they lost 2-0. I think Palace are going to be right up there this season, Palace. Looking at the transfer window, they haven't done too much, but they have signed someone called Chris Richards from Bayern Munich, and they've also signed some player from Derby, I can't say his name, and Sam Johnson on free agent from West Brom. Sam Johnson will not be playing in this game due to injury, so it'll be interesting to see which keeper starts. It's probably going to be Guaita, probably, or Jack Butland is back up if they need him. Be interested to see if Sam Johnson is the main starter of Guaita. I think he'll be second choice, but he's happy to be back playing in the Premier League. When he was at West Brom, he was a solid keeper. He's a decent keeper. This is coming from the Wolves fan, this is. I can't deny that he is a decent keeper. So, let's get... So for this game, I do think it's going to be an incredibly close game. But Arsenal welcome a few new players. They welcome Marquinhos, Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko. I think there's another one as well. Fabio Vieira. This is going to be incredibly close. Can it be a draw? I'm just going to say 2-1 to Arsenal. Crystal Palace 1, Arsenal 2. Could go either way and could possibly be a point. Right, the next game now, we got Fulham versus Liverpool. Newly promoted Fulham come back to the Premier League once again. Can they survive? Can Marco Silva's Fulham survive? Up again, I don't think they'll get off to a win start, as it's Liverpool. They're playing Liverpool. Liverpool at the end of the day. It's hard to beat them. But one player that will be playing against his former club is Fabio Carvalho. Now, that is a massive loss for Fulham, but a good sign for Liverpool. I don't think he'll play all the time, but he's something new for Liverpool, and he's a future talent there as well. Fulham has signed quite a few good players this season. Signed Bernd Leno from Arsenal, Andres Pereira from Man United, Kevin Mbabu from Wolfsburg, João Paulinho from Sporting. They got ahead of us over us. Wolves went for him, and then we lost interest in the end. It's always the same old Wolves, but I'm not surprised, but it is embarrassing losing out to a club, but that is a very good signing for them. And Liverpool, they have got someone called Nunes, Carvalho. They've lost Mane to PSG. That's a massive loss to them, but they have replaced them with good players: Calvin Ramsey, Fabio Carvalho, Darwin Nunes, and players like that. Personally, I think this is going to be a very easy start for Liverpool. So Fulham 0, Liverpool 3. Right, next one now, we've got Bournemouth versus Aston Villa. I think this could be an incredibly close game because Bournemouth want to get off to a positive start. Tough game against Villa. They can be a decent threat in the league. They're a decent side coming for Wolves. Personally, they're nothing special, but they are an okay team, and that's it. Bournemouth haven't signed many players. They signed 3 players. I think they signed Ryan Fredericks, Joe Rothwell, and there's another player that I forgot to mention now for them. But they haven't done much for it. Marcus Tavernier from Middlesbrough. They haven't done much in the window, but they haven't done too much. I don't know if that'll be enough to keep them up. But they got some decent players in that squad. Well, Aston Villa, they signed a few. Philippe Coutinho on a permanent, which is a good signing. He's got lots of talent. Kamara from Marseille, Douglas Carlos from Sevilla, and Robin Olsen from Roma. Good signings there, but they have lost a player called Chukwuemeka to Chelsea. He really didn't give us the game time though. For me, I can't see anything separating them, so 1-1. Bournemouth 1, Villa 1. Next game, Leeds versus my team, Wolves. Away at Leeds last season, it was a 1-1 draw. I'd love to get off to a positive start, but the limited signings to make is Nathan Collins and Hwang on a permanent. But Leeds, they've lost good players like Rafinha and Kelvin Phillips, but they have brought in a few new faces that look decent players. They brought in Tyler Adams from Leipzig, some guy from Man City, some out from Wolves, Brendan Harrison, Ramsey Christensen, and Van Salzburg and Mark Rocker from Bayern Munich. Some great players there. I said didn't go down, but who knows? I can't see anything separating the sides here. So Leeds 1, Wolves 1, could go either way. On the next game now, we've got Newcastle versus Nottingham Forest. Good game to start. Good game for both teams to start the season. Will be a tough game for Forest, but Newcastle, they brought in a number of players and they will get off to a winning start. So they signed a lot of good players. I'll go for a couple. They got Steven Botman, Matt Targett, Nick Pope. They got a few from the Premier League like Nick Pope and Matt Targett. They also signed, I think, Bruno Guimaraes. Don't know about the rest, but they have some great players. Forest had a great window themselves, but the main one that I've got to talk about is got to be Jesse Lingard and a free agent from Man United. It's only a 1-year contract, but that's in the prevent of them going down, of course. But they've signed someone called Mangala from Stuttgart, Jesse Lingard just mentioned about, Lewis O'Brien and Harry Toffolo, both from Huddersfield. Wayne Hennessy from Burnley, Dean Henderson from Man United, that's on a loan deal for the season, Omar Richard, and Nico Williams, and also I want it from Union Berlin. He's a record transfer fee and he's a striker. So for this game, I think Newcastle are going to get off to positive start. So Newcastle 1, Forest 0. Next game now, we got Spurs versus Southampton. Spurs have had a really busy window themselves. Northampton haven't really done much really, and I think they could be struggling this season personally, but they can be a decent side on their day though. The players he signed Kulusevski, I think, from Juventus. Don't know if that's permanent, but I think it is if he's coming back, isn't he? The Fraser Forster's backup keeper, Ivan Perisic from Inter, Basaliston from Everton, Basuma from Brighton, Clement Longley from Barcelona, that's a decent signing, and Jed Spence from Middlesbrough, who was on loan at Forest last season. Southampton haven't done much for this game. I think it's going to be a very positive start. Spurs should be an easy win for them. So Spurs 2, Southampton 0. Next signing now, we got Everton. They've signed a couple of players. I think Frank Lampard wants to sign a few more as well. I think that Ruben Vinagre on loan from Sporting, of course, former Wolves player, Dwight McNeil from Burnley, and James Tarkowski. Some of them, they are very average signings, but James Tarkowski has got great Premier League experience, plus a few of them. Vinagre's 29 now. Dwight McNeil, he's only young though. Chelsea, they brought in Sterling and Koulibaly. They lost Rudiger and Christensen, and they haven't worked out with Lukaku, who's gone back out on loan to Inter Milan. But he signed some lad from Aston Villa, some young lad, I think. Personally, I think it's going to be a very tough game. Frank Lampard up against his football club, Chelsea. Of course, he is a Chelsea legend to them. So I think tough game here. Everton 1, Chelsea 2. Next game now, we've got Leicester versus Brentford. Of course, Leicester have now they have had a very good win and now lost Casper Schmeichel to Nice, so it'll be very interesting to see who they have in goal tomorrow. Could it be Danny Ward or could he bring in somebody else? The rumours that James Maddison could be off to Newcastle and Tielemans could be off to Arsenal, but currently they are their players. For Brentford, they've lost Ericsson, but he was only on a short-term contract. But just seeing who else he signed. They haven't done much. They got Ben Mee from Burnley on a free agent. He got good. He's a decent player. He is. Keane Lewis Potter from Hull. I don't know what he's like, but he smashed it in the Championship last year. I think Leicester will get off to a positive start, but for Brentford, they need to keep at their goals this season. That Ivan Toney needs to keep turning up for them like last season. So Leicester 2, Brentford 1. Could go either way though. Next game now, we got Man United versus Brighton. Be interesting to see Erik ten Hag's first game in the Premier League in charge of them. So they have brought in a few signings. Ericsson from Brentford free agent, Lisandro Martinez from Ajax, Tyrell Malassa from Feyenoord. There's still uncertainty whether Ronaldo is staying or going. He wants to leave, but the club just say he's not up for sale. Some people say it had a negative or positive effect on Man United, but personally he was a top scorer. Without him, the proof is lower. So therefore, he has had a positive impact in my opinion. But he's too good for Man United, really. Brighton haven't done too much, but they haven't done much. But I imagine they're going into season with what they've got. They're pretty happy with what they've got, because they had one of the best seasons last season. I think they'll do alright this season. They brought in a free agent from Reading, I don't know what his name is. Yes, he's off pursuing players like that. They got a player in from his Ivory Coast, one from it's from his Ivory Coast, but I think he's a Norwegian side. He's from I don't know where these signings got from, but I don't know who these signings are and what these clubs are though. Personally, I think it will be a pretty boring game, nothing in it. So I'm just going to say, this is a guess here: Man United 1, Brighton 0. Finally, on to the final game: West Ham versus Manchester City. This is a good game. Of course, Man City want to get off to a very good start, and West Ham want to give Man City a few problems. West Ham signed someone called Massa from Sassuolo. That's a club in I think in whereabouts is it? Italy. They signed Naya Agard from Rennes, centre back, and Alfonso Areola as a goalkeeper. That's a decent signing. He was on loan there last season. Where Man City, they have lost Fernandinho. They have lost Fernandinho. And they have replaced players like that. They've lost Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko, but they have replaced them with quality signings. Only 2 signings, but they're quality signings. Erling Haaland from Dortmund, Calvin Phillips from Leeds. Personally, I think they're going to get off to a really strong start. Personally, Man City, they've always needed a proper striker after Aguero's left, because they've always been playing a winger or midfielder as their striker. I think you won't need anybody else up front. Haaland, he has scored in pre-season for Man City, but he did have that miss at Liverpool, but which he sort of buried. Players are human beings. At the end of the day, we're always going to make mistakes, but that's to be a goal that he should have scored. But you've got to give him time, though. Personally, I'm gonna say West Ham 1, Manchester City 3. This is going to be a really good game. This is going to be. So right, that is my predictions for game week 1. So tell me what you think of my predictions, and which teams are going to get off to a positive start. I can't wait for tonight, the first game, Palace versus Arsenal. I can't wait for it. So thank you all for watching. See you all later, guys. Have a good one. Enjoy the football tonight. Bye everyone.